Hey guys, another video from the Anti-Nerd here, and today I'm gonna bring my top 10 Marvel Legends of my personal collection. I'm not counting package or accessories, I'm gonna bring them as they are displayed in my collection. And as you can see, I am gonna make a few honorable mentions before I started, okay? This wasn't an easy list to make, so my first honorable mention is gonna go to Ultimate Captain America. I think it's a really good figure. It's pinless. I really like the colors that they picked for this one. The blue and red that they picked was really interesting in my opinion. The texture of the suit really works. It's really heroic. I do love the Ultimates, the story which is based on. I love the boots, the details on his laces. I think it's a really solid figure. The torso articulation really works. It's pinless, it's really well articulated. I'm using here the Bucky shield because it's more shiny, but his shield works perfectly as well. I love the belt, has a lot of military details that I think it really makes the figure a little more realistic, speaking of Captain America. So that's why I'm gonna make this guy one of my honorable mentions of my top 10. He almost made it, but not quite, because there's another Captain America in this top 10, and you'll see. So my second honorable mention is gonna go to Wolverine from Extreme X-Men. This is a figure that I was surprised how much I liked it, because it was released very recently. I really like the suit. I think the plastic that they use was really solid. It's pinless. The butterfly joints really can bend to the back and forward. The details on the hair on the arm are really cool. It's a really solid, clean figure. I know it only comes with one head, but it's a very well made head. The boots, the outfit, the leather details, the fabric, the pockets, it's really, really well made. And the gloves are also very well made, so that's why I'm mentioning this guy as my second honorable mention. My third one would be Grey Hulk. This is the only Hulk I own. I'm gonna get the maximum probably, but I just feel like this guy is really well made for what it is. His butterfly joints go way back and also way forward. I really like the head sculpt. I feel like it's a very well articulated for the size of his. I know a lot of his body mold is being reused on the Maximum Hulk, but since I don't have that one, I am just gonna stick with this one for a little while. I feel like the head sculpt's really faithful to the comics. So I do feel like this guy deserves to be close to the top 10. He didn't quite make it, but still it's a very good, well sculpted figure, especially the face. Really like this head sculpt, really creepy. So another honorable mention is Colossus. He is from a Build-A-Figure that came out some years ago, and I was surprised how much I like this figure. It does feel a little cheaper than the recent Marvel Legends, but the sculpt is just so faithful to the comics. The suit, personally, I like more than the classic suit that comes with the Juggernaut 2-pack. But this guy looks really good with an X-Men team. The articulation is a little limited, but he can do everything that you would expect from a Colossus figure. His head moves a lot to up, and his suit's really, really amazing. I just love how the gray on this figure looks, the silver metal shading, the painting on the head is really good. He comes with an extra head with a beard, but I'm using the regular head, so another honorable mention, Colossus. Another honorable mention is The Thing. He almost made it. This is my last honorable mention. He came with a Build-A-Figure scroll, super scroll wave, and I feel like this short's really good. The shade of black and blue, the number 4. As you can see, he has a lot of texture. It's really well made, and he's really shiny. The color really stands out, the orange. But the rock texture really what's get to me. He has a torso articulation that's really good. His head is really well sculpted, really expressive. I just feel like this is one of the best Marvel Legends and probably one of the best the things that came out. I know the Walgreens is super popular, but I only have this one, so there you go. So number 10 in my top 10 Marvel Legends collection is Thanos. This is the deluxe version, although I leave it like this, not too deluxe, but he does come with the snapping fingers hand, with the infinite gauntlet, with the stones, right? So look at the painting. I really like when they make it shine like that. The gold on his painting really shines. I don't know what kind of paint this is, but I just feel like it's an amazing villain figure. He can move really well for a big figure. I do have my personal tastes of liking those big figures. Let's take a look at how Thanos looks right next to a regular Marvel Legends, the Secret Wars Captain America with the broken shield. Just take a look at how badass this looks, how Marvel versus Capcom it looks. It looks really good. He's stepping or punching the Captain America shield. His face expression is nuts. So top 10, I'm gonna give to Thanos. And top 9, Iron Patriot from the Cabal 3-pack. This one, I usually leave it with the Norman Osborn head because I feel like it's a really well done, scary villain head. The eyes, they have a nice shading as he hadn't had a lot of sleep in the past few days or weeks. But look at the painting, how shiny it is. The articulation is really good. He's pinless. It's a really well made figure for people that clearly had some sort of good feelings about the character. And let's change the head so you can see that he looks as good as the Norman Osborn head, because this Iron Man head, it's a little more villain looking than the other Iron Man heads usually. He has a very good torso articulation that a lot of Iron Man figures do not have. So Iron Patriot, top 9, very interesting figure. Came out recently, I think it was last year, and I don't regret at all to get the 3-pack from the Cabal. Really solid pack. And number 8, we have Cable. Also very recent figure. I feel like the head sculpts, they are nailing recently with the head sculpts. It's just so good, so solid. Clearly, the most strong thing about this figure, but also the blue is very nice, is very faded. It reminds of the retro X-Men, the 90s X-Men, the Marvel vs. Capcom X-Men. The suit is really good, and this figure is massive. He's really tall, he's really big, really muscular. The guns that he comes with, I always display with him because it makes the figure look way more badass. Just take a look at how big the guns are. He's already a big figure, and the guns just make him look even more badass, even more massive. He's mostly pinless, unless you count the right arm. It's not pinless, the right arm, but everything else pinless. Really clean, solid figure. Really good head sculpt. This figure is a figure that you don't need 2 head sculpts. It would be nice if they included an angry head sculpt, but this one is already so ambiguous, so cool to see his eyes like that and his effect. Very good. Love the hairstyle. So Cable is in the top 10. So let's go top 7, Doctor Doom from the Cabal, also from the same Cabal 3-pack as the Iron Patriot. But this one's a little higher on the list because look at how detailed he is. I know they reuse a lot of the things from the retro Doctor Doom, but take a look at this fabric cape here. That totally sells it for me. I love fabric. I wish they put it in every character that has a cape instead of putting those sculpts with plastic. They just put a fabric. I even think will be more cheap to make, but they don't make as often as I wish. But it's still a nice, very scary figure and a perfect Doctor Doom Marvel Legends. And top 6, we have Spider-Man Retro. Spider-Man Retro almost made it a little higher, but I have to include this guy because this guy is a game changer to me. It's a dream figure. It took me a while to get it. I really like the articulation. The torso articulation is such an improvement over the Spider Pizza. But the head sculpt, guys, the head sculpt of John Romita Sr. or Steve Ditko, that early Spider-Man, that early 70s Spider-Man, is just everything's in there. The articulation is really solid. The bad thing about the painting, of course, it is the red pin. But other than that, this figure is really good. And it still holds up a lot because it portrays a very specific Spider-Man that we don't get as often as we deserve, we hardcore Spider-Man fans. So, top five, of course, Spider Man Renew Your Vows. I think people would trash me in the comments if I didn't put this guy higher than the retro. I almost swapped the positions, but how can I? If the Spider Man from the Renew Your Vows pack is just so good, so vibrant, so good articulated. He's pinless. The blue is just so dark, but it blends so well. He has toe articulation. He can do a lot of spider poses. I know he's about to be overthrown by the Maximum Spider-Man, but guys, this is a Spider-Man that you can use for a lot of things that it's not the McFarlane Spider-Man. It's a general 90s, early 2000s Spider-Man, and it really holds up. I just love this figure so much. If you have it in hands, you probably like as much as I do. And top four, Daredevil from the VHS 2-pack with Hydro Man. This Daredevil, some people don't like it. I personally love it. He's really high on my list because first he has the body mode of the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man, which I just showed, okay? But the shading, the painting, is just so awesome. Daredevil is a figure that it doesn't come that often, and this one is really Frank Miller looking style. I just love the shading. It looks like Frank Miller just took an ink and painted this guy himself. He has toe articulation, he has a nice head sculpt, he has everything. He has a complete set of hands. He has the nunchuck. It's a very solid figure. He can reach almost every Spider-Man pose that you can think. The butterfly joints, they move a lot backwards and forward. So you can see he's really well articulated. This is a figure that the plastic for me always felt very solid. He's not super hard to move. It just has the perfect moving for Daredevil and the perfect look. I just like a lot the shading because in the comics he has a lot of black shading over his costume, and I do prefer this red tone over the 3-pack with the Bullseye and Electro. So top 3, Captain America Secret Wars. I do love this Captain America, but let me explain why the 20th anniversary is not here and this one is. First, because I'm only counting open figures that I opened, so I didn't open my 20th anniversary. I know it reuses a lot. Look at how clean it is, but I prefer this painting. It's just more faithful to old school Captain America, and the face is just so retro. Sometimes people don't get it, what makes a retro figure, a good retro figure. And it's about the face expression. Look how goofy, ironic, and light-hearted, retro, vintage this guy looks. It looks like a figure that could have been made back in the day, but they just improved so much the articulation. But the painting, guys, the blue is just so accurate. Captain America looks like this. The shield, you cannot break it that easy. It's like made of rubber. Look how faded the red paint is. It just looks so vintage to me. That head, it's pinless over the 20th anniversary. So yeah, Captain America from Secret Wars, top 3. And top 2, Punisher from the 2-pack with Bushwhack. How can I not put this guy so high in the list? He just looks so good. It's just one of the most solid action figures of all time made by Hasbro. He looks so Metal Gear Solid vibe. He looks so stealth. He has a lot of details, but he's really clean. They decided not to go over with the fabric texture. It's just a black outfit, and he's really well articulated. I do wish they reused this body mode more. I wish I could see a Spider-Man really buff. But look at the articulation, the torso articulation, the skull on his outfit is just really, really good, really cool to see. He has some details as the bullets in his chest and the gun in his thigh. Really solid figure. And top 1, Marvel Legends Wolverine VHS. I know this is a big surprise. Why is this guy top 1? Because he's my kid's dream figure. Look at him. I prefer him so much over the 97. This one is retro, guys. This one is accurate to the source material. Look at this face. This is a face I would expect from a Wolverine head. He has a beautiful shading of this hard yellow. I just feel like he's such a good figure. And you're maybe wondering why? Why did I put him on the top one? It's because when I was a kid, I wanted a Wolverine figure, and this one just delivers everything that I could desire on a Wolverine figure. He's just so faithful to the Tiger Stripes 90s look. The proportions are perfect. I love the articulation. I love the shading. I know people don't like the shading, but the colors are so much more faithful to the source material comparing to the 97 one, which has a weird skin tone, and the yellow is not quite there for me. So top one is Wolverine VHS. I just love this figure. This figure just kicks ass when it's around other figures, other X-Men figures. So that's why Wolverine 97 is my number one Marvel Legends of my top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's impossible to agree with all the choices, but I hope you had some fun with me analyzing these figures and making quick comments about it. So yeah, of course, I'm gonna update this list in a while from now, like a year from now, or not even that. And I'll probably put those maximum figures that are coming out. Let's see if they're really good. My Spider-Man's coming out. Hulk, I'm probably gonna pre-order. So let's see if they're gonna make to the next top 10. Stay tuned, guys. Keep watching Anti-Nerd channel, and goodbye.